The content on this channel is intended for educational and informational purposes only. We aim to provide thoughtful, respectful coverage of true crime stories while acknowledging the serious and sensitive nature of these events. We strive to handle all cases with accuracy, empathy, and respect for the victims and their families. Viewer discretion is strongly advised, as some topics may include graphic details that could be upsetting or triggering. The information presented is based on publicly available sources, and while we do our best to ensure accuracy, we cannot guarantee all details are fully comprehensive or free of errors. This content is not meant to glorify, sensationalize, or trivialize any crimes or individuals involved. Remember to engage respectfully in the comments and be mindful of the real lives connected to these stories. If you or someone you know is struggling, please seek support from a trusted professional or contact a local helpline in your area. Thank you for watching and engaging with this channel responsibly. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old college student who loved to travel. Her friends described her as adventurous and curious, always eager to learn and see more of the world. In January 2013, she went on her first solo trip to Los Angeles, California. Elisa meticulously planned every detail. She was excited to see the city and write about her experiences on her blog. Elisa had a list of must-see attractions, including the Hollywood Walk of Fame and Santa Monica Pier. Her family was worried, but Elisa promised to call them every day and stay in touch. She was ready for an adventure. Elisa packed her bags with excitement for the new experiences in Los Angeles. On January 26th, Elisa arrived in Los Angeles and checked into the Cecil Hotel, eager to start her adventure. The Cecil was an older hotel, affordable and close to all the places Elisa wanted to visit. Elisa had no idea that the Cecil Hotel had a dark and mysterious past, rumored to be haunted. Elisa spent her first few days in Los Angeles having a great time. She visited museums, immersing herself in the rich culture and history that the city had to offer. The exhibits fascinated her, and she spent hours wandering through the halls, taking in every detail. She walked down the famous Hollywood Walk of Fame, marveling at the stars embedded in the sidewalk. The bustling atmosphere, with tourists snapping photos and street performers entertaining the crowds, added to her excitement. She felt like she was in the heart of the entertainment world. Elisa also enjoyed the California sunshine, spending time at the beach and in the parks. The warm weather and the beautiful scenery were a welcome change from her usual routine. She loved the feeling of the sun on her skin and the sound of the waves crashing on the shore. Just like she promised, she called her parents every day to tell them about her adventures. She shared stories of the places she visited and the people she met. Her parents were happy to hear from her and knew she was having a great time. But on January 31st, the calls stopped. Elisa's parents grew concerned when they didn't hear from her. They knew something was wrong because she had always been diligent about keeping in touch. Elisa's parents didn't hear from her. They tried calling her multiple times, but there was no answer. The silence was deafening, and their worry turned into panic. They were very worried because she always called. The uncertainty and fear of not knowing what had happened to their daughter were unbearable. They couldn't shake the feeling that something terrible had happened. Elisa's parents contacted the police in Los Angeles and told them their daughter was missing. The police took their concerns seriously and immediately began an investigation. The police started looking for Elisa, and the last place they knew she was at was the Cecil Hotel. This hotel had a notorious reputation, which only added to the urgency of the situation. They talked to the people who worked at the hotel and the other people staying there, but nobody had seen Elisa. The staff and guests were cooperative, but there were no leads. The days turned into weeks, and Elisa was still missing. Her family and friends were desperate for answers, but none came. The search efforts continued, but hope was fading. It was like she had just disappeared. The mystery of Elisa's vanishing act at the Cecil Hotel left everyone puzzled and heartbroken. The city of Los Angeles held its breath, waiting for any news that could bring closure to this tragic story. The police were determined to find Elisa, but they weren't having much luck. Despite their best efforts, the investigation seemed to be hitting one dead end after another. Officers combed through the urban landscape, meticulously searching for any sign of her. Detectives pored over documents and reviewed surveillance footage, hoping to uncover a clue that might lead them to Elisa. They decided to release a video to the public, hoping that someone might recognize her or have some information. The video was broadcast on large outdoor screens and shared widely on social media. People gathered in public squares, their eyes glued to the screens, hoping to catch a glimpse of something familiar. The video was from the security camera inside the elevator at the Cecil Hotel, and it showed Elisa acting very strangely right before she disappeared. The Cecil Hotel, with its eerie history, became the focal point of the investigation. The grainy footage from the elevator captured Elisa's last known movements, and it was both baffling and unsettling. In the video, Elisa is seen pushing several elevator buttons, stepping in and out of the elevator and waving her arms around as if she was talking to someone that nobody else could see. Her actions were erratic and inexplicable. She seemed to be in a state of distress, her movements frantic and disoriented. The video was creepy and confusing, and it quickly spread online. It became a viral sensation, with people all over the world watching and rewatching the footage. Social media platforms were flooded with comments and theories, each more outlandish than the last. People all over the internet started watching the video and coming up with their own theories about what happened to Elisa. Some believed she was being followed by an unseen entity, while others thought she might have been under the influence of drugs. Theories ranged from the supernatural to the psychological, each one adding a new layer to the mystery. Some people thought she might have been having a mental health crisis, while others thought something more sinister might have happened. The possibility of a mental health issue was considered, given her erratic behavior in the video. However, the lack of concrete evidence left room for darker theories. The video was supposed to help find Elisa, but it mostly just created more questions and mystery. Instead of providing answers, it deepened the enigma surrounding her disappearance. The footage, meant to be a crucial piece of evidence, became a source of endless speculation and debate. Weeks went by and the police were no closer to finding Elisa. Then, on February 19, 2013, there was a terrible discovery. Workers at the Cecil Hotel were trying to figure out why the water pressure was so low and why the water tasted strange. They went up to the roof of the hotel to check the water tanks, and that's when they found Elisa's body. It was a horrible and shocking discovery. The police were finally able to tell Elisa's family what happened to her, but it didn't make their loss any easier. After Elisa's body was found, the coroner, which is a doctor who investigates deaths, did an autopsy to try to figure out how she died. The autopsy report said that Elisa had drowned accidentally. They didn't find any signs of a struggle or any injuries that would suggest she was hurt by someone else. The report also said that Elisa had some medication in her system that she was prescribed for bipolar disorder, but she hadn't been taking it as directed by her doctor. This information led some people to believe that Elisa might have been experiencing a manic episode, which could explain her strange behavior in the elevator video. The Cecil Hotel, where Elisa Lam stayed, had a very troubled history. It seemed like bad things were always happening there. Over the years, there had been many suicides, murders, and other deaths at the hotel. Some very famous serial killers, like Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, had even stayed at the Cecil Hotel. Because of all the tragedy and death associated with the hotel, people started calling it the Suicide Hotel. Elisa Lam's case was just one of many sad stories connected to the Cecil Hotel. Elisa Lam's story, with its mysterious circumstances and the creepy elevator video, became famous all over the world. People were drawn to the mystery, and they wanted to know what really happened to her. Online forums were created where people discussed the case and shared their theories. The case was featured on podcasts, documentaries, and TV shows. The Cecil Hotel, once a place people avoided, became a macabre tourist attraction, with people wanting to see where this mysterious death occurred. Elisa Lam's case showed how much people are interested in the strange and unexplained. The Cecil Hotel wasn't just in a fancy part of Los Angeles, it was close to Skid Row, an area where a lot of people struggled with homelessness, poverty, and mental illness. Over the years, the Cecil Hotel had become a place where people with nowhere else to go could find a cheap place to stay. Elisa Lam's story, and the Cecil Hotel's history, showed the challenges that many people face in big cities. Even though the official report said that Elisa Lam drowned accidentally, many people still have questions about what happened to her. Her strange behavior in the elevator, how she ended up in the water tank, and the Cecil Hotel's dark history all contribute to the mystery. Elisa Lam's case reminds us that life is precious and can be cut short, and that some mysteries may never be fully solved. The Cecil Hotel will always be connected to Elisa's story, a reminder of the darkness that can exist even in bright and busy cities.